Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, it's Dominican Republic income that you earn inside Dominican Republic. This is part 2 of our series and final part, because today we're going to go over the actual income tax rate, and I'm briefly going to go over what Dominican Republic themselves are going to do, and Airbnb responsible host and the taxes. This will be short, it'll be sweet, but you need to make sure that you are within your income levels. You have to understand, before you buy a business, before you invest in a business, before you do any real estate, and you're thinking about doing long-term or short-term rentals, you need to know what taxes that you are going to pay. So are you going to pay 18%? Are you going to pay 25 to 27%? Well, it all depends. We'll talk about it. So come along for the ride. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you and thank you and thank you. Make sure you smash that like button on the way, as I've already mentioned. Make sure you share the video with other people, because there's a lot of people. There's over 50, almost 60 people here in the SSN Nation that have made real estate investments in the Dominican Republic. A few have made business investments. All of the income that you receive, if you have a company or as an individual, you owe taxes. Something to think about, especially if you're not Dominican and your country of residence is in another country where you also will have to pay taxes. So, what should you do? Join us, SSN Lifestyle, Punta Cana Investors Forum, December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. What does that mean? December 2nd, we go see lawyers. Why? Because of situations like this that come along. They have to make sure they can advise their people, their clients, what the tax implications are. You guys will know in advance if you show up. Now, December 3rd, we actually go see the lay of the land in Punta Cana. We're going to go to a few offices to go check out a few projects, real estate projects that you can invest in. No credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry, payment plans, pre-construction. And then on the 3rd, we go to the banks. We need to talk to loan officers so you know what you're actually getting into with regard to 8.5% interest rates, 11% interest rates, 13% interest rates. That's right. Don't think it's like America. Double digits interest rates, adjustable, is something that is normal there. So you have to start thinking in advance. Before you buy, you need to know tax implications and banking implications. And with all that said, let's get to the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page. Why? Because I like to show a few of our members, courtesy of YouTube, over here on the right-hand side. And I like to show the join button if you'd like to become a member, because members on the community tab, they receive all their information, special messages for them. They receive 1 or 2 videos per month specifically for them. They also can join me on any live stream, because that's where the live stream link is held, and discuss anything they want. And on Wednesday nights, live streams at 8:50 p.m. Only members with the icon next to their name can be in the chat room. That's enough. Now, we've been doing the Instagram watch. Notice we went up to 925 a couple of days ago. Now we're back down to 922. Funny thing, right? We're almost back down to the range of 921 to 914. Very funny how that works, but everybody keep let's going over here to Instagram and sign up. And tonight you will have a live stream. This is Monday night. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we have live streams. 8:50 p.m. on Monday and Wednesday. On Friday nights it's 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you so much for doing that. I'll take off from our part 1 where I actually discuss this. I'll have a link down below. All right? So everybody can go over here and read the whole thing for themselves for a recap. But I just want you to understand right here, this is the important situation. Airbnb emphasizes that individual hosts are fully responsible for meeting their tax obligations. This is not something new. This is right now. If you make money in the DR, you're supposed to be paying taxes, especially if you're a Dominican citizen. If you're not, you still are supposed to be paying taxes. But here's what you have to do. The guide outlines essential steps for hosts, such as registering with the National Registry of Taxpayers, RNC, and including the 18% ITBIS on invoices to guests. This is for people, in my opinion, that when you're doing it outside of the digital platform, it's not doing it with VRBO, not doing it with Airbnb, but you have people coming. That's what this is referring to. All right, just keep that in mind because digital platforms are different. So here it is right here. This tax framework applies equally to small businesses and larger corporations in the short-term rental sector. So what I'm trying to get at is this 18% for people that are on digital platforms. You don't have that right now. Airbnb doesn't add the 18%. So that's the good news. Sooner or later, though, Airbnb is going to add it because Airbnb did this. Responsible hosting in Dominican Republic. And look at number 1, tax payments. Airbnb wants to pay the ITBIS. All right, so it's probably going to be added on the digital platforms like the tax reform bill was talking about. So I just want you guys to understand this is probably coming. But here's the thing. If you're in the short-term rental business, like SSN, Lifestyle, SRL, and you have earnings, all right, for hosts operating as registered companies like SSN, Lifestyle, SRL, they are subject to a 27% ISR on income and an additional 1% on recorded assets. So this is very, very important. All right. So keep that in mind. I'm going to actually break out some of the tax guides for you. And that's why this is part 2. I wanted to go over here just to be sure that everybody who's doing short-term rentals or long-term rentals or planning to do rentals through Airbnb, I suggest you get that link down below in the description, responsible hosting in the Dominican Republic, or go to Airbnb and search for it. All right. That's what you need to do. Now, I want you to understand, I like KPMG. Nothing wrong with this company. I like them even though they mess up. But this is from the tax rates from 2023. I just want to let you guys see in USD what it looks like, what taxes look like. So for instance, let's just say I'm making money for my Airbnb and it's located in the Dominican Republic and we make $10,000 in profit. If that's the case, we're going to have to give up $1,500 to the tax authority, DGII. Okay? You got us a lot, but that's a whole nother story. I won't talk about that right now. But here it is. You can see the range, which was 2023. It has changed. But since it's in USD, because the next one I'm going to show you is actually going to be in pesos. But it's a little bit more for the following year. It's up to 16,000, around 16,500 is 25% or more. And I know a lot of you are thinking in your head, well, wait a minute. I plan on making it more than $16,500 in income from rentals. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And if you do, you got to give up a quarter of it. 1/4 of it has to go to taxes rightfully. Just letting you know. So if you make 17,000, roughly 25% is what, 4,100 or thereabouts? Now you're understanding what we're talking about here because it's a pass-through income situation. So, yes, see your tax guides. Now, I will talk about it because we have people on podcasts. So in 2023, this was the tax rate, and USD of $10,954 to USD 15,212 gives us a 20% tax that you have to pay. And again, anything over 15,213 is 25%. That just gives you a baseline. But it went up about $1,000 for each of these. Kind of. It's kind of weird how they did it. But you'll have to do the conversion. I'll have a link down below, even to this KMPG PDF. I'll have that. Then I'll have the link to this right here, which is the Greenback Tax Services, expat taxes for the Dominican Republic. Here it is again, but this is in pesos. All right. Now, this is current. This is for if you're going to file taxes for the year 2024. All right. Just so you guys know, for 2023 tax year filed in 2024 is the asterisk. So it went up. This is like the current number as far as I know. All right. So look at this. Everybody that understands Dominican pesos, I can't do it off the top of my head, but you know, that's why I did it. But anybody who makes up to around $7,000 income, you owe no taxes. All right. You still should file, but you should then put in 0 because you didn't make over the 7,000. All right. That's why you always have a tax accountant on the island you'll need. All right. If you want to have my tax accountant that's on the island, then let me know. You can always hit me up at support@stopstrugglingnow.com by email, support@stopstrugglingnow.com by email, or join us. And we're on the SSN Nation and Lifestyle WhatsApp group and our other platforms. You can always hit me up in the DMs, Instagram, and all that too. Now, 416,220 pesos through 624,329 pesos is 15% of taxes due. And as I recall, I think that was somewhere around like 8 or 9,000, somewhere in there. All right. Now, this other one, 624,329 pesos up to 867,123 pesos is 20%. And I believe that's somewhere like a little over 9,000 to almost 16,000. And then 867,123 and above is also 25%. And this is around 16,500 and up. But again, you have to go with the peso exchange, the Dominican peso to the USD exchange, and you'll get that number. Now, just to be clear, so everybody doesn't think they can get around it, you don't want to get yourself in trouble with tax. Employment earnings is taxable income. Self-employment earnings are taxable income. Capital gains, taxable income. Benefits, housing stipends, meal and clothing allowances, reimbursement for education, travel, and other professional expenses. All right? There are no local income taxes in the Dominican Republic. Like in America, we have city tax, sometimes city, county, and state tax. In the Dominican Republic, there is none of that. Some of you may know, like, I won't use a state, but let's just say some of you may have a 6.5% state income tax, plus a 1% city tax, plus a county tax of 0.5, making it be like 8%. That's what we do in America oftentimes for those states that charge state income tax. In Dominican Republic, there is no additional. So that's why these numbers make sense now, because you don't have the additional city and county taxes. That's the difference. Or state. So in this case, province, city, you don't have taxes in the DR as far as I know. All right. But here's the other kicker. Let's say you employ people, you have Social Security tax. Every employee and employer in the Dominican Republic is required to contribute to the Dominican Social Security system. This applies to residents and non-residents alike. So if anybody's getting a check, it's just like the United States. What's FICA? It's taken out. And this is what a lot of people don't realize, that employers actually pay part of your FICA. So just because your salary is, doesn't matter, $50 an hour, and your FICA is X amount, guess what? Imagine your employer pays half of your FICA. So whatever you see on your FICA, the employer's also paying. So he's actually paying you more per hour than what you're thinking, because he has to pay half of your FICA as well. So that is something that's very noticeable that they do in the DR, which is a similar system, but they're making sure the rate for this tax comes to roughly 21.3% of an employee's salary. You see what I'm saying? So this is why you have suppressed wages, because can you imagine paying somebody $100,000 a year in salary? And now as an employer, after you gave them $100,000, now you got to pay $21,300 to the government, and in essence pay $121,300. That would be crazy, right? But that's what has to happen here. So now you're understanding the situation with depressed wages, because the more they pay you, the more they're going to be taxed. All right? And look at all these other costs: pension contributions, family health care, labor risk. So if you're thinking about doing business there, this is the thing. And again, the Dominican Republic treats capital gains as ordinary income and taxes them accordingly. All right? So all that, I hope, is going to help you. But again, if you come join us December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, be there December 1st, leave on the 5th of December, I would suggest. But go to ssnlifestyle.com or go to stopstrugglingnow.com to register immediately and get in and join us on this adventure that we have twice a year. And with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but this is what you have to do when you're trying to do business worldwide. There is no free lunch. That's the point that people misunderstand, thinking that they're going to get a tax cut, tax breaks, and things like that by doing business in another land. It doesn't work that way. Other countries have taxes, just like the United States. So with all that said, thank you for watching once again, and keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.